Hello, programming friends, programming engineers. Welcome back once more to this derived course. Don't think that I forgot about Danfoss. With everything that we learned about the velocity reference with Yaskawa, now I'd like to give you guys an exercise, a drill, so you guys can start getting used to from going to one drive to another. So I'd like you guys that you please look for the velocity reference in this drive, which is Danfoss. Now, how do we find that velocity reference? And I'd like you guys to help me out in the comments by indicating what type of parameter or what parameter was it the one that you found? What memory and what was it called? And I'd also like that you guys that we discuss this, or that you actually watch and see if you were close or if you were far from that parameter. So there may be many different ways to find it. The most common one and the most well known is you need to download it. You need to download it, the Danfoss manual drive. Danfoss LCP, and you add manual. And you look for this. And that's where you're going to find what parameter you need to input the speed reference search. So here, if we go to quick menu, if we start looking, the other way is also using logic. Our logic says that we need velocity reference. So we use main menu. Let's see here. Actually, that's where it was. Let's see, how do we get there? So we have the parameter 0 option. So 0 operation display. Probably for the screen options and languages, etc. Now, this doesn't mean that we're going to assign the velocity references. So no break, reference and ramps. This is telling us a little bit more about speed. Part number 4 for the parameters is limits and warnings. Part number 5 is digital in and out, analog in and out, maybe this parameter. Communication and options, smart logic, that's smart options. Drive, information, data readouts, info and readouts. And here we're going to go to our control part. When it's open link, closed link, or loop. Which of these options do you think sounds better for you? I think it's option number 3. So it's 3-0. Remember the Yaskawa parameters? Should be around here. Here we go. Each company is different. Each company is going to call it to whatever they think is correct. So they use decimal points. So it's 3-0. And here Yaskawa has different ways to identify their parameters. Which one is better? Which one is worse? None. They basically work to everyone's advantage depending on what you like the most. Okay, so it's basically the same thing. They divide the parameters. Okay? So limit reference limits, no, not 1, not 2, ramps, and then potency meter. Okay, so this is only for the potency meter part. And here we're going to support it to the limit. But in our reference part, it tells us preset reference. We have 0%. And let's see here. Jog speed, no, we're not looking into that. Reference site, no. This is only if we add as manual or automatic, probably. Reference source number 1, reference source number 2. And here we have our potency meter selected. I think it's this one. So what am I going to get as a reference for speed in my drive, in my Danfoss drive? Who is it going to listen to? It's going to say nothing, actually. This is option 1. I'm not going to listen to anything. So analog input, S3 or 53, depending on your terminals. 54 for pulse input. And a digital potency meter. And here we have our loop part, which is what I make for additional references. And this is the analog input connected to terminal number 53. This is what I consider to be first instance to use logic. So I don't have this open really. So open your navigator, your seeker, and confirm if your parameter number 3-15 is the velocity reference. And select whatever reference you wish. That's going to be your exercise. But mostly, I'd like that you guys help me out in opening your navigator, store it, okay, and create a file in drives course, and then add a different drive that says manual, and add all manuals that you see on this side. Okay, so that you guys can learn how to identify those manuals and how to identify these options that we need for the configuration, for the drive configuration. And also, I need you to help me out in looking for the reference for speed. In which parameter is it really in? This is for logic. I may be wrong about this, but trust me. This is how we find out if we're right or wrong. And if I'm wrong, then you guys need to tell me what other parameter is it the one that you consider. Okay, add it in the comments, and we can discuss this amongst ourselves. Okay, I don't see any comments before finishing this video because I'm going to add the response, the correct response as a highlighted response. Okay, so I'm analyzing that everything is correct. So open the manual, check that parameter or that this parameter is the right one. And if it isn't, you guys tell me what you think is correct. So once you see that this is correct, change your velocity reference to the potency meter. Okay, so let's get used to changing the potency meter. Okay, and that's ready. So with this is a digital potency meter. It's not even analog because the pre-established option, which is S3 or 53 option, means that is actually the analog potency meter. But the option that I want you guys to choose is the digital potency meter. And if I'm making a mistake, you need to choose a different option. Okay, so we're going to look into the comments. And with this, you guys are going to tell how easy or how long is it to choose this velocity reference or frequency reference. Okay, so having said this, now let's move on to our next video. Big hug, guys.